This video is going to talk about circles and volumes. The first question asks us to find out whether the point 10 lies on the circle. So there's two different ways that you could do this, but the way that I do it, so I don't have to learn a new formula, is I use the distance formula. So let's recall. The distance formula is the square root of x2 minus x1 squared plus y2 minus y1 squared. So the center is what you want to first identify. The center is 3, 0. And a point that's actually on the line is 5, 0. So what you're going to do is you're going to find the distance from the center to the other point on the circle. That distance is going to be our radius. Because in theory, if this point also lies on the circle, then it should be equidistant from the center, meaning that their distances should be the same. So let's go ahead and find the distance. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to label my coordinates. So this is going to be x1, y1, x2, y2. So I'll put that into my distance formula. So the radius, I really should say, because this is the distance from the center to a point on the circle, is going to be 5 minus 3 squared plus 0 minus 0 squared. So that ends up giving us 4, because 5 minus 3 is 2, and 2 squared is 4. And the square root of that is 2. So that's the radius. Now we need to find the distance from this other point here. So now I'm going to have my x2 and y2 be my 1 and 0. So this other distance, we're going to take 1 and subtract 3 from it, square it, and then we're going to take 0 and subtract 0 from it, square it. So that ends up giving you -2 squared. Now remember, -2 squared is still 4. So that gives you the square root of 4, which is 2. So because they both have the same distance, yes is the answer. Next problem. We're dealing with a cylinder with a radius of 10 feet and a height of 15. So let's recall the volume of a cylinder is r squared times height times pi. So we're going to take our r, which is 10. We're going to square it. We're going to multiply it times 15, and then multiply times pi. So our volume is equal to 1,500 pi feet cubed, because we're talking about volume. It has 3 dimensions, so your measurement needs to be cubed. Next one is talking about a cone-shaped glass. Oops. A cone-shaped glass. So let's first write the formula. So the volume of a cone is 1/3 r squared pi. Excuse me. R cubed pi. I apologize. It's 1/3 r squared times height, times pi. And that's what our cone looks like, and that's our height. So the base of the cone-shaped glass is 12 inches in diameter. So that means that the total distance across is 12. But in our formula, we're using r. So what we have to do is we have to find what r is by dividing by 2. So r is equal to half of our diameter, which is 6 inches. And our height, it should say height here. is 18 inches. Oh, wait, no. I guess, well, you can just interpret it the way you want. But that is, since it's 18 inches tall, that is height. So when we get our volume, we got 1/3 times 6 squared times 18 pi. So when you multiply all that, you get 216 pi inches. That should say cubed because you're talking about volume. Alright, circumference is equal to, circumference can be written in two ways. You can say circumference is equal to diameter times pi, or you could say, since diameter is 2r, you could say 2r pi. So since we've been given the diameter, let's go with the first one. So circumference is equal to 10 pi inches. And the second question asks us for area. So the area of a circle is equal to pi r squared. So since we have our diameter, we're going to have to divide it by 2, which is 5. So area is equal to 5 squared times pi. So area is equal to 25 pi inches squared. When you're talking about area, you square it. So this is our second answer. Alright, this last one talks about a baseball and tells us that it has 45 inches, 45 centimeters in diameter. So let's write the volume because we want to find the volume. This shape is a sphere because it's a baseball. So the volume for a sphere is 5/3. So here is our volume formula. So the problem here is that we've been given diameter. So first we need to convert that to our radius. So that gives us 22.5 as our radius. So now all we have to do is plug this in for r. So volume is 4/3, 22.5, and we're going to cube that, and then we can just leave pi at the end. So if you're putting this in your calculator, please make sure to put parentheses around your fraction. So once you get that, you get 15,188 pi centimeters cubed, and I rounded up for this one.